It was May 2022. Cody and I were setting out on our month-long cross-country adventure. This was originally planned to be a 6-week trip. First 4 weeks backcountry off-road, final 2 weeks the full length of Route 66. However, due to several unforeseen circumstances, it was changed to a 4-week trip and mostly on pavement. We started up the 395 to Fallon, Nevada. From there, we headed east along Highway 50, otherwise known as the Loneliest Road in America, also part of the Pony Express route. I didn't expect to make a YouTube video from this, so most of this is pictures and dashcam video, but bear with me, and hopefully this will inspire you enough to plan your own getaway across this amazing country of ours. We found this campsite just east of Austin, Nevada with amazing views. We passed through several mining towns along the way. The previous day we passed through Austin, Nevada, and this day we came up on Eureka, Nevada. The best part about visiting these old towns is it's like going back in time. Cody and I continued up Highway 50, the loneliest road in America. As you can see, very few vehicles. And one bike. Ely, Nevada was an outpost for the Pony Express, a trading post, and one of our country's major copper mining regions. There's also a Walk of Fame outside the Hotel Nevada with a star on the sidewalk for each celebrity who stayed there. We continued across the loneliest highway in the country, through Nevada into Utah. We stopped off in the Salt Lake City area to visit my nephew Jason. You remember Jason from the previous video. He was Survivor Man. And once again, I took pictures of the scenery, but didn't take any pictures of us. We continued northeast up through Wyoming. Our next target, Custer State Park. We stayed the night at a KOA near Green River, Wyoming. Woke up the next morning to some light snowfall, which then turned into a little more of a blizzard as we made our way toward Casper. Fortunately, it let up as we approached Independence Rock. Independence Rock is a large granite rock that got its name from a party of fur trappers who camped there and celebrated Independence Day in 1830. It's also known to be a landmark for wagon trails west of Fort Laramie. We continued on up the highway, up into Casper, and eventually into South Dakota. We finally arrived in the Black Hills, found a place to camp, watched a little bit of the buffalo and the prairie dogs, and then the next day went to Custer State Park. It's amazing how many people out there don't understand the meaning of this sign. I got a little nervous at this point because I forgot to roll up the windows and Cody was kind of hanging out looking at the buffalo. And normally he'll bark or want to attack anything that moves. And had he barked at these buffalo and they wanted to attack my Jeep, we would have lost. But he did really well. He sat quietly and just watched. Compare the size of that buffalo to that Jeep that's in front of us. It's true what they say about Nebraska, a very long drive west to east, and can be difficult to find a place to camp. So we had to drive back down close to the highway and found a very nice spot on Lake McConaughey. This is a Pony Express station in Gothenburg, Nebraska. There's a museum across the street. In the area, stop by, check out the history. As we crossed through Missouri, my son and I made a surprise visit to my daughter's house. She had no idea we were coming. And once again, I forgot to take pictures, so I only have a few. That's me looking stupid. We then went to Trail of Tears State Park. This is a memorial for the Cherokee natives who died on the Trail of Tears. And then on to Illinois and down to Kentucky. You'll soon begin to notice that I somehow got this fascination with bridges. I don't know how that happened, but you'll see a lot of them. I wanted to go into Paducah, Kentucky because this was where my dad was born. This is also the place where General Grant began his campaign during the Civil War for the Union Army. One of the biggest attractions in Paducah is the floodwall murals at the branch of the Ohio and Tennessee rivers. It was started in the late 1990s and painted to portray the area's earliest history up to the present day. We are now coming up onto another bridge and back into Illinois. We found this really cool campsite in a thick wooded area, or foresty area, and unfortunately the mosquitoes were just as thick. So we decided to take a little drive around the area, found this place called Cave in the Rock State Park, and just took some time to see the sights, walk around in the cave, and enjoy the rest of the day. We were able to find this nice spot with a barbecue and overlooking the river. And so we stayed there, cooked some dinner, just kind of relaxed there until it got dark, and then went back to the campsite and actually went straight to bed. The next morning we hopped on the Cave in the Rock ferry. And we rode the ferry all the way across the river back to Kentucky. I'm really feeling deja vu on this one. This is the Kentucky Castle, and you can stay there. I believe the rates start at about $400 a night and go up from there. We chose to camp. Now heading up through eastern Kentucky toward West Virginia, we stopped at a nice little campsite, and I saw something that I did not know existed. I thought they were a myth. They're called fireflies. This is true. I did not think they were real. But they are, and now I have video to prove it. Of course, it's a lot more spectacular when you're there, if you've never seen them before. Cody was impressed too. The next morning, onward through West Virginia. Don't worry, I won't sing that song. A quick pass through of Maryland into Pennsylvania. As we head into Gettysburg, I'm going to keep quiet for a bit. I'll even turn the music down, let you look at the pictures. If you've never been there, I highly recommend that you go for at least a few days, if not longer. I know that I'm going to go back, and I highly recommend that if you go back more than once, that you at least one of the times you go during the early July time frame. That way you can feel how the heat and humidity of what it must have been like during that battle. Make sure to drive around town, tour the entire area. It just takes you back in time. Be sure to drive around the farmlands as well. I mean, for me, it was much different from where I'm from. And it just shows a different perspective and a lot of hard work that goes into this type of lifestyle. Cody was exhausted. Meanwhile, I'm driving up Highway 76 in Pennsylvania, minding my own business. Perhaps you didn't see that. Let me slow it down so you can see it again. You just don't see that very often where I live. Or this. Or big long tunnels like this. We are now entering Cleveland, and I will finally get to see the Great Lakes. The freshwater ocean. This too, another amazing place to visit. On our way back to Illinois again, a quick pass through of Indiana, Sierra's birthplace. Since my mom is from Michigan and I was right next to the border, I did a quick step in and out, just so I could say I've been there.
Wait a minute. Wrong music. This isn't Queens. This is Chicago. Start of Route 66.
Next stop, Joliet, Illinois, to enjoy an ice cream cone at Kix on 66. There's so much to see on Route 66. Most of the route is pretty well marked. Some of it is not. You can find on websites, you can find interactive maps that'll help guide you through. That's what I did, and I was able to find pretty much all of the route. So you get to some spots and it just ends, so you have to backtrack and get on whatever nearby highway is, and then you'll find it again. And a lot of off ramps will have a sign that says historic Route 66 so that you can find your way back onto the route. Many gas stations are abandoned or they're now museums. So a lot to see along the way, so keep watching and hopefully this will help you plan your trip. Many good restaurants along the way, so many you can really stuff yourself, so you just have to make your selection of where you want to go and bypass the others until you go again. I'm sure you recognize the St. Louis Arch, gateway to the west. Can you guess where we are now? Sorry, still in Missouri. I'm sure you were thinking Texas with the Longhorns. This is one of several car museums that I stopped at along the way. Really enjoyed the museums and all the different classic cars that they have, including the Batmobile. As you are traveling through Ash Grove, Missouri, you will see the Sinclair gas station. This is one of the many museum gas stations along Route 66, and the owner there loves speaking with people from all over the world who are traveling Route 66. Time to get the kids ready for this one. You all remember the cartoon movie Cars? Well, here they are. My fascination with bridges obviously continues, but this one is special, the Rainbow Curve Bridge. Constructed in 1923, this is the only remaining marsh arch bridge on Route 66. Do you recognize this house? Maybe this field? Build it and they will come. Cody and I are now leaving our short stay in Kansas and entering Oklahoma. They make good ice cream here too. Galloway's wasn't open when we arrived, but Cody and I still had a good walk around the place. It was interesting seeing all the structures. This was just before we got hit with a huge downpour. This is the Blue Whale of Catoosa. The owner constructed it for his wife as an anniversary gift. She liked to collect whale figurines. This was also a favorite swimming hole for locals and travelers along Route 66. If you can eat a large 72-ounce steak here with all the fixins, it's free. Adrian, Texas, the midpoint of Route 66. Also be sure to stop in and grab yourself a sandwich. They make good food here. This truck had nothing to do with Route 66, but I had to take a picture of it. I mean, really? Are they psycho? The Wigwam is a cozy little setup with teepees. Obviously not your 5-star hotel, but a fun place to stay for the night. Cody and I weren't complaining, we've been camping the whole time. I was hoping to play a short clip of a very famous song right here, but it wasn't allowed, but I'm sure many of you are humming it right about now. Take it easy. I'm doing 66 miles an hour on Route 66 as I head into Seligman, Arizona. Home of Delgadillo Snowcap. Be sure to stop by there, grab a bite to eat, and take a look around. When you get to Kingman, make sure you visit that Mojave Museum. I actually had the Route 66 part of this trip planned in my head for several years prior to 2022. It would be something that we would do as soon as I retire, and it would be more or less a 2 to 3 month on-road, off-road expedition. We would also plan for Carrie to fly out to different places that she'd want to visit. But I began to think that this really shouldn't wait. At the time, it would be more than 5 years before I would retire, and anything could happen between now and then type of thing. Plus, Cody would be about 14 years old when I retire, and this trip, or at least an abbreviated version of it, really needs to happen soon. So I did have an overload of vacation time that I needed to use, so I made the decision to go in 2022, and so glad that I did, because we would have never had thought that in just 10 months later after that trip completed that Cody would go blind in a matter of a 24-hour period.